Hi, Angelique Clemens, and I am your host of the Can I Borrow Your Skin podcast. And we are in week 5 of July. This is the third of 4 months here in July that have 5 weeks. January had 5 weeks. And so I did a bonus episode where I sat down with a friend and we went over some of the basics of American football. May was very heavy because I did the interview with Amanda Willett, who is a survivor of the Rape Academy here from the U.S. And that was a very heavy month and a very heavy bonus week. So July, if I'm following kind of the timeline, it should be something light and happy. Um, FIFA just ended, unfortunately. So I guess I missed my opportunity to kind of talk about football. And to be honest with you, I would do such a horrible job talking about it unless I was talking about thighs and abs, which I kind of did at home with my husband on the couch. I was like, oh, that's the striker. He's like, which one's the striker? I'm like, the one with the really nice thighs who just pulled up his shirt. Ooh, look at his abs. So I don't think he learned anything. He did learn about Cristiano Ronaldo, though, and his abs. Man got abs. He has like a 17 million pack because I was showing my husband some of the pictures. Okay, anyway. But in my defense, he brought him up first, and I just took it and ran. And then I don't know, has he had a body issue? If he doesn't, ESPN body issue that man. Anyway, but when it comes to football, like I know the basics from like playing in a beer league and watching the Olympics, and of course DCFC. Love DCFC. I really wanted them to get that land to build their stadium downtown so that we could be like a sports premium city with all of them right downtown Detroit. On that note, they have a practice stadium over on Lafayette near the like the Solanus Casey Center and King High School track. And apparently in there is a clubhouse that has like a bar. It says it's still open. I tried to call them. I don't know what their hours are, but I haven't gotten anyone to answer the phone. However, if you know how to get into there, into the bar or whatever, let me know because I want to go. And if I have to join or pay a fee or something, depending on what the fee is, I might be willing to do that. So, if you know how to do that, drop it in the comments. But anyway, trying to keep it light and airy. I think I want to talk about like memes and artificial intelligence. I originally was going to show y'all some of my favorite like AI videos and stuff. There's a couple that I really, really love. Like there's an AI video of a dog taking a fake mouse and dropping it on a sleeping cat. And then like the sleeping cat feels the thing drop on him. So he like wakes, starts to stir. And then he sees the dead mouse on him and he like tries to swat it off and jumps like 60 million times. Like I laughed at that video so much. Like my husband finally said to me, and he's like the person that looks at things like 60, 70 times in a row. He's like, okay, enough of the cats. And it was so funny to me. But like AI is taking over the internet. Some people have lost their jobs to it. I personally think that it is good for laughs. But people have been using it for so many things. They've been making photos from it. They've been faking photos, faking videos, making some fake news type stuff. If you're of a certain age, you've heard of The Onion. So The Onion used to be a newspaper, and then it was a internet webpage, and all it was fake news, but it was deliberately so outrageous and you knew that it was not real. Well, now The Onion, they have a news network and they have like their own social media, and they have been doing some news reports recently on the Onion News Network, and they have been absolutely hilarious, but they use AI to generate a lot of that stuff as well. The problem with artificial intelligence that we have right now, besides people, losing their work because a lot of what they do can be done by computers and computations very quickly, is the fact that people are taking things that are not real and thinking that they are real. And as a scientist, it is something that scares me personally because cross checking things is actually quite easily done, especially in this day and age of computing and computing power. I am one of those people, I will see something salacious and I will cross check it before I look it up. But unfortunately, based on, you know, my personal news feeds on my social media, not a lot of people do that. And so, one of the things that I do want to say is that it's being used a lot in education right now, which is probably one of the reasons why uh, AI is so easily being used to stoop people because a lot of people are using AI to write their papers and they can educate themselves without the actual book. Man, if AI existed when I was in school, my grades would have been so much better than what they were. I mean, it's not like they were horrible, but bro, I would have been like top of my class because I already write pretty well in an academic standpoint. But if I could take the writing that I already do pretty okay and throw it into a bot and they like polish it up and send me like glorious things, I would have got an A in everything known to man, except science. You can't really AI bot, structures and stuff. Well, maybe you can. When I get home, I'm gonna AI bot me some science and see what they give me. I honestly think though that one of the major things that we need to do as a society is make sure we fact check our AI. And I know that there's a couple companies that are using experts to interrogate their AI to make sure that it is doing things very well and that what they're giving you is correct information. But a a AI bot or a chat bot is only as good as the information being fed into it. So let's see, what are some other things I want to talk about? Fake weather. I do think that's really cool. There was a story that was put out about a tornado touching down somewhere, and it caused such mass hysteria. People were running to the stores and stocking up on all this stuff based on a fake AI news story and weather story. And it was really interesting. And then someone fact checked it and saw that not only was it incorrect, but this same fake weather story was using, just changing out the names of the city and state or the country and going around in like 5 or 6 different countries, and only one place, it was here in the US, actually believed it because everyone else fact checked it. And, people were very upset, but it's like sometimes we got to double check things before we run with it. The other really cool thing that I saw recently on AI was dancing miniature farm animals. First of all, are baby cows real? Like the miniature, like 1 foot tall cow? Because if it is, I really want to see the genetics that led to that fake baby cow. And two, why do you want a cow in your house? Like I don't even like dogs in the house. Why would you want a cow in your house? But whatever. People do what you do. I do know some uses that have been really cool for me personally for AI. Obviously, my cover photo was created by AI. It was a cartoonization of a real photo, and I like it very much. But obviously, that was created for I did use it to do some writing for some things in my business. So I own a small business. In addition to doing this pod, I actually do some consulting work. And so I help it write some of, like, I have a template that I use for some of my job quoting. So I'll just throw like the new people's information and my template in there, and AI will generate something. So instead of spending an hour and a half or so taking the same template and making it personalize it for every single client, I let AI do that, like busy work. And then but there's things that I don't think AI should be doing like, I read and I have not fact checked this, but I heard that there are some places that is allowing, medical students to learn using AI. So they will take symptoms that they're seeing in patients and put it in an AI bot. And then the AI bot will participate in a differential diagnosis and shoot out 3 to 5 different possible like diagnosis. And then the medical students have to discuss them and do a real differential. And it's just like, well, what if you forgot to type in one observation and it changes what your differential could have been about, but you didn't include that. And so now your whole differential is off and your whole diagnosis could be off. I don't know. Taking the human factor out of it, I think, is very interesting and also very weird. And also, what's feeding a lot of those books, and I talked about this in a previous episode, is racially skewed. And because a lot of that stuff is based on a small demographic of people. And so if you have, diagnoses coming out of books that are based on a small demographic of people, then you don't have the personal touch that would come from you actually evaluating your data. Like with most data, most scientists have heard garbage in, garbage out. So if you're putting crap science into it, you're going to get crap science out. The problem with that is if you're using, these medical AI bots to train the next generation of doctors, it scares me because, and like I said, this has not been fact checked. So please don't run to your doctor and be like, did an AI bot train you? I want to see a non-AI bot doctor, because I'm not saying that that is actually what is happening. I have read that somewhere and I haven't completely fact checked it, and I have not seen it in a journal. So until I see it in a peer-reviewed journal, I take everything with a grain of salt. But I do know that there are some people that have used AI bots to write their papers. I saw that the success rate actually, there is a friend of mine who works at the B school at the University of Iowa who has a paper, and I want to say a book now, on using AI to write your papers for college, for graduate school, and just like the whole revolution of AI. And it's a very interesting read, because one of the things we don't want to do, and one of the things that people are worried about, is that the use of like Chat GPT to educate, for using to write your paper, and how educators can look for certain things. And I know that impulses were one of the things that people were looking at to determine whether or not a chat bot wrote the paper. And people always encourage that when the bot spits out something, don't just copy paste, actually read it, interrogate it. And so those are certain things. I do know back when I was in school, our version of an AI bot was Cliff's Notes. And when it comes to certain things, like most people use it for like Shakespearean plays. I actually liked Shakespeare. So I used to read it when we were always assigned like a Shakespearean novel or play or work. I read them instead of reading the Cliff's Notes. And obviously Cliff's Notes weren't always correct. I did have one teacher in high school who would take one question that he knew was wrong in Cliff's Notes and, make that one of the questions. And the people who got it, use the Cliff's Notes answers, because of the percentage, could not get higher than like a B or B minus on his exam, because of how he structured the test, so that you would have to read the book and not just the Cliff's Notes. I think that, AI can be very helpful in a lot of things. I do know that there are people training AI, and I there is a company that I know about that I need to get more involved in to help train a couple AI bots. But, who has the time working, consulting, doing the podcast? Now I got to train AI too. Ugh, not enough time. No, but seriously, if you had an opinion on AI. I would love to hear what it is. How has AI helped you? How has AI hurt you? If it's hurt you, where do you think the future of robots is going to take us? Because if you are of a certain age, like I'm sad we don't have flying cars because the Jetsons said that we would have flying cars. And from the Jetsons, we do have a lot of the things that they said we'd have. Like we do have the robot maids, we have the telehealth, but we don't have flying cars. So I want those. From Star Trek, that's where cell phones came from, but we don't have transportation. I would love transportation. I am so tired of standing in line at airports. So, what would you use AI for? Like, I can't, like, if I could get an AI robot to help me in my garden, that would be amazing. I hate pulling weeds. And to be honest, I am absolutely over it. And you will see why. This is the last week in July. All of August, we will be sitting outside in my garden in the sun, talking about my plants. Hopefully, you guys are here for that and will enjoy that. But now let's finish up talking about AI. Share a link to your favorite video, AI video. I have a few. In addition to the cat jumping out of his skin because of a mouse. One of my favorite ones is it's a bunch of huskies sitting at a window, and huskies are known for being kind of dramatic dogs, and there's a strike of lightning and really big thunder, and all it's like three huskies and they all fall out and start acting, throwing their hand to their head and in dramatic fashion and groaning and whatnot. Like I've never seen a dog put his hand to his head in dramatic fashion like you see old damsels do before they pass out back in the 1940s. But if that was real, that's hilarious. Maybe the thunder and the lightning was AI and the dog was real. I'm not certain. But videos now, which I am glad that they're making them do, put on the videos what's AI generated content. I don't know. I know that for some places it's still optional, but there are some places that they automatically flag it for you. But people need to be more conscious of whether a video is real or not. And we as a society need to fact check a lot of stuff because we are in the era of AI. So that's all I got on AI. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, save, share, drop in the comments your favorite AI video. Thanks and bye.